Hi everyone, I'm MaryAnn. I'm a visual artist and voice coach from Singapore, currently in Singapore, and welcome to day 93 of my 100 Day Live Your Dreams vlog series. So if you're someone who has a dream and you want to make it come true and you're not quite sure how to get started and you don't know whether this is the right thing for you, and maybe you've started but you're feeling stuck and you're feeling confused, well, I have been on this journey for many years and I'm here to share whatever it is that I've learned along the way, which I'm still learning a lot along the way. But I'm here to share whatever I've learned so far in the hopes that it can help you frame whatever it is you're going through such that you have more clarity about the action you need to take such that you can move forward powerfully toward that dream of yours or towards that meaningful and worthy purpose that you want to fulfill in your life. So if you have any questions about this, feel free to ask them in the comments, or you can directly message me through any one of my social media links which are in the write-ups attached to these videos. So the past couple of days, I talked a little bit about how every time we talk about personal evolution and personal development, there is a misconception that some people may have, or that most of us may have, where we think that there is something wrong with us and therefore we need to improve, or that, we're not good enough yet and therefore we need to become better versions of ourselves. And I don't really subscribe to this kind of thinking because I think, first of all, or at least what I've realized in my journey of doing this evolutionary work on myself for many years now, is that you as a person, there is absolutely nothing wrong with you. And part of the journey that we're on is that we have to be able to accept ourselves exactly as we are right now in this moment. Because if you cannot accept yourself as you are, then it doesn't matter how much you actually improve or how much you become better or how much more evolved you get, because it will never be enough and you will never feel like you're good enough. And all this has an effect on our self-esteem and our confidence as well. So it really starts with us accepting ourselves as we are now. And then when we talk about the improvement and the betterment of ourselves, then it's not so much about us as a whole person, but rather what is that objective that you have? What is that dream that you want to go after? What is that life that you want to create for yourself? And then what exactly are the skill sets or the capabilities that you need to develop such that you can have that picture in your life, such that you can fulfill that vision that you have for your life. So that brings me then to what I shared yesterday, which is about the skill set that you want to develop in. What exactly is that skill set? And what exactly are the measurable aspects that you can quantify such that you know exactly how you have improved in developing that skill set? So a lot of times we tend to collapse things. We see our lack of artistic ability, for example, if let's say your dream is to be an artist, we see that lack of artistic ability as us being not good enough. When actually, if you're really being very specific about it and being objective about it, it is that your artistic skill set is not quite there yet. And then you have to define what is there yet. What does that exactly mean for you? What does that mean in terms of the outcome that you want, and what does that mean in terms of where you are right now? And part of the vocabulary that I've had to learn to evolve along the way is seeing things in terms of good versus bad. So a lot of times we tend to look at things that way because that's how we've grown up. When we're a child and we're learning the ways of the world, a lot of times things are framed to us in a sense of good versus bad, right? Like if you're well behaved, then you're a good girl or a good boy, and if you misbehave, then you're a bad girl or a bad boy, or you did something bad. But actually, good or bad is a very limited way of looking at the world, and because of the way we've grown up with those words, we have a lot of emotional attachment and emotional meaning attached to those words. And so I started to drop them from my vocabulary, because what do they really mean, right? Like what's good to me may not be good to someone else, or what's bad to me may not be bad to someone else. And then in terms of communicating to other people or giving feedback or getting advice or getting feedback for yourself, what does good really mean? What does bad really mean? And so I've learned over the years to drop good and bad from my vocabulary and focus instead on what works and what doesn't work. You can only know what works and what doesn't work when first of all you define the outcome that you want to achieve. And then you can see the things that you have done so far and the actions that you've taken in the context of that outcome. So coming back to the example that I shared a couple of days ago, if your dream is to be an artist and right now the part that you need to transcend and develop yourself is in your painting skill set and painting abilities, then you want to look at what works and what doesn't work in that context. So for example, if you're trying to copy a masterpiece by a master artist as part of your training, and you are having a really difficult time trying to replicate a particular technique, for example, then you want to examine what is it that is working for you in replicating this technique and what is it that doesn't work at all. And then you want to do more of what works and you do less of what doesn't work. This can also be applied when, let's say, you're looking at your training schedule in order to become a more evolved painter. And let's say you're painting an hour a day and you look at it over 1 week and you find that, an hour is really not long enough. That doing an hour a day for 1 week, which adds up to 7 hours, you might actually be better off doing like 2 sessions of 3.5 hours each, because then you get a certain momentum going and that allows you better to learn the skill set that you need to learn. So then what I'm saying is what works and what doesn't work comes back down to specific individual capabilities and whatever it is that works and doesn't work for you as an individual. Like for another artist who's learning the exact same skill set that you are, maybe doing 1 hour a day over 1 week actually works for them. But maybe for you, doing 2-hour sessions might work better. Doing 3-hour sessions might work better. So you can't really compare yourself with other people. What you can do is you can take note of what is working for other people and you test it out and see whether it works for yourself. Or you can also look at what doesn't work for other people, but maybe it might be something that might work for you, and you never know until you actually try. So drop good and bad from your vocabulary because those words really don't forward you in any way, and there's a lot of emotional baggage that are attached to those words because of the way we've grown up, and instead start to look at what works and what doesn't work in the context of the goal that you're going after, and you examine the actions that you're taking towards that. What is it that's working? What is it that's not working? And then you can make your adjustments and improvements based on that. So if you have enjoyed today's video, subscribe to my channel on YouTube or like my Facebook page wherever you're seeing this on. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments, or you can directly message me through any one of my social media links which are in the write-ups attached to these videos. And I'll see you tomorrow.